All right, ready to dive into something kind of wild? We're talking AI doctors today.
AI doctors, yeah.
The idea of getting medical advice from, like, a chatbot.
It sounds like sci-fi, but
Totally great.
it's getting real.
Yeah, how real are we talking?
Well, there was this U.S. study that put 5 big AI systems to the test. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Grok, and Hugging Chat.
Oh, I've heard of a couple of those.
Yeah, they're all like these AI chatbots, right?
Yeah.
Well, they gave them the U.S. medical licensing exam.
Wait, like the one real doctors take?
Yep, step 3. Not the basic stuff either. This is the exam doctors take after med school, after residency.
To prove they're ready for the real world.
Exactly. It's not just textbook knowledge. They got to apply it, diagnose tricky cases, come up with treatment plans.
And the AI did it, actually.
All 5 AIs passed.
No way.
Yeah, all of them. And the top scorer, ChatGPT 4.0, got a 98%.
98. That's insane. Better than most human doctors, probably.
It is remarkable, especially in the open-ended parts of the exam.
What do you mean open-end?
So there are sections where you got to analyze a ton of patient info and come up with a bunch of possible diagnoses, right? It's called differential diagnosis.
So, like, not just one answer, but all the things it could be.
Right. It's complex medical reasoning.
Mm-hmm.
And the AI, it nailed it.
I read about that example with the 20-year-old patient. The AI recommended the HIV test.
Yeah. And not only that, but it explained why a follow-up test a week later was important too.
Wow, that's a level of detail.
It's pretty mind-blowing. But
there's always a but with new tech, right?
of course. Look, it's impressive, but these are still consumer products, not FDA-approved medical devices or anything.
Yeah, it makes you think about all those people are already using Dr. Google to self-diagnose.
Right, and ending up with totally wrong information.
Could these AIs do the same thing? Give bad advice, even if they aced an exam?
That's the worry. Even the smartest AI is limited by the data it learns from.
So, if the data's incomplete or biased,
the AI's advice could be flawed too. That's a big concern, especially when you think about how much of the training data for these AIs is, well...
What kind of data?
It's very Western-centric, lots of English language sources. So who knows how accurate it would be for other populations or medical context?
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
It's something to consider.
So it sounds like we need to be cautious. Excited, but cautious.
Definitely. These AI tools are amazing, but they're not ready to replace doctors just yet.
No robot doctors walking around?
Not quite.
Yeah.
But it does make you wonder what the future holds.
It really does. Speaking of the future, what about Google's MedGemini?
MedGemini.
That's the one designed specifically for medical diagnosis, right?
That's right. They're training it on a massive data set of medical records, research, all that.
So it's not just a general AI like ChatGPT.
It's more specialized, which could make it much more accurate when it comes to actual medical stuff.
So are we looking at the first real AI doctor here?
It's possible, but even with MedGemini, there's still so many questions.
Like what?
Well, how will it affect the relationship between patients and their doctors? Will AI be seen as a helpful tool or a threat?
That's interesting. Like, will people trust an AI more than their doctor?
Maybe. And then there are all the ethical considerations. Data privacy, algorithmic bias. Will AI make healthcare inequality worse?
That's a lot to think about.
It is. It's
Yeah.
exciting, but we need to approach it carefully, make sure AI is used responsibly.
Absolutely. So while the idea of AI doctors is fascinating,
Yeah.
it's clearly not a simple black and white issue.
Not at all. It's going
Whoa.
to take a lot of careful thought and discussion to make sure AI benefits everyone in healthcare.
It sounds like we've got a whole lot more to unpack here.
We do. And that's what we're going to dig into next.
Sounds good. Let's take a quick break and then we'll be right back with more on the fascinating world of AI doctors.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we've talked about the potential downsides, these big questions about AI in healthcare.
Yeah, the big scary questions.
But let's not forget there's a whole positive side to this too.
Oh, absolutely.
Aside from, maybe replacing doctors entirely.
Right. Beyond just diagnosis. Think about how AI could improve other parts of healthcare.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Well, imagine AI analyzing medical images, like X-rays and MRIs.
Okay, yeah.
But with way more precision than a human. Maybe even spotting things our eyes miss.
That'd be incredible. Catching diseases early before they become a problem.
Exactly. Especially for something like cancer, early detection is everything.
It could save so many lives.
And personalized medicine. AI could analyze your genes, your medical history, lifestyle.
To create a custom treatment plan.
Basically, yeah. predict risks, tailor everything to your specific needs,
It's like having a super smart medical assistant working behind the scenes.
constantly crunching data, finding patterns we might not even see,
That's amazing. So AI wouldn't just replace doctors, it would make them better.
augment their abilities, make the whole system more efficient, more effective.
That's a much more optimistic way to look at it.
But we can't ignore the challenges either. There are real concerns people have.
Like what specifically?
Well, job displacement, for one.
Right. If AI can do so much, what happens to the people who used to do those jobs?
It's a valid worry. Will we see mass unemployment in healthcare?
Or will new jobs be created, like jobs related to AI itself?
Probably both.
Right.
Some jobs will be automated, no doubt, but others will emerge in AI development, data analysis, ethical oversight.
So the workforce will have to adapt, learn new skills.
Exactly. We need to anticipate these changes, prepare people for what's coming.
And what about data privacy? All that sensitive medical information being fed into AI.
That's a huge concern. We need strong safeguards in place.
Like what?
Clear regulations, ironclad cybersecurity, a culture of accountability.
To prevent data breaches, misuse of information.
Absolutely. It's crucial. And then there's the question of autonomy.
Autonomy, what do you mean?
Well, how much decision-making power do we give AI?
Right. It can give info, guidance, but can it make life or death decisions?
That's a tough one. Ethically, patients need the right to choose how much they rely on AI.
And doctors need to understand the limitations, know how to explain it to their patients.
Transparency and communication are key, so patients can make informed decisions.
It can't just be a black box spitting out recommendations.
No, trust is essential. And we need to think about the big picture, too.
How AI affects the whole healthcare system, not just individual patients.
Right. Will it make healthcare inequality worse? Will it lead to over-reliance on tech?
At the expense of human interaction, empathy.
Those are questions we can't ignore.
It sounds like a balancing act, embracing innovation but protecting the heart of medicine.
Exactly. We need enthusiasm and caution. AI has huge potential, but it needs careful guidance.
Man, we've covered so much ground today.
I know, right?
From those crazy AI exam scores
Yeah.
to the potential benefits and all the ethical stuff we got to think about.
A lot.
AI in healthcare feels like it's moving so fast.
It really is. And what's interesting is it's not just about the tech itself, you know?
What do you mean?
Well, it's making us think about our values,
Yeah.
like deep down, about health, about trust,
Yeah.
what it means to be human in a world with all these smart machines.
It's like we're entering this whole new era of medicine.
But we don't know all the rules yet.
Exactly. So what do we do?
We talk about it. Now, before it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
And not just the tech people, right?
Who else?
Doctors, patients, ethicists, the people who make policies, everyone who's going to be affected by this.
Because if we don't shape it, it'll shape us.
Exactly. We got to make sure AI is used to help people, not replace them.
Okay, so big picture stuff aside, what's the takeaway for the average person listening?
I'd say be informed. Know what AI can do.
Mm-hmm.
The good stuff like earlier diagnosis, personalized treatment,
Yeah.
but also be skeptical. Don't believe every AI diagnosis you see. Remember the limitations, the biases in the data.
So use it as a tool, a starting point.
Right. Talk to your doctor.
Yep.
No algorithm can replace a human doctor's expertise, at least not yet.
That's good advice. So as we wrap up our deep dive into AI doctors, I'm left with a question for everyone listening.
Yeah.
As AI gets even smarter, where do you think the line should be between using these tools for info and relying on a human doctor?
That's a good question.
What does responsible AI in healthcare look like to you?
It's something we all need to think about.
Definitely. This isn't just a thought experiment anymore. This is real.
It is.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Stay curious, stay engaged, and keep asking questions.
That's the most important part.